Hello, my name's Eric Perota, and I'm the automotive instructor at Delta Schoolcraft ISD in Escanaba. So our program is somewhat unique. We're a NATEF certified program, and what that means is an outside entity comes in and evaluates our teaching program, our automotive technology program. What does that mean for our students? It means that we can articulate credits with technical schools and other colleges. And we also transcribe credits with some colleges. And what that means is a student can actually leave at the high school level and already have college credits in automotive technology. So if they pursue that as a career, they already have part of their schooling is already finished. So that it's a cost savings in addition to getting a little bit further along in your career and out there and ready to make some money. So we're NATEF certified in maintenance and light repair. So some of you might wonder, what makes a teacher qualified to teach such a thing? Well, when I graduated from high school, I joined the military and was sent to automotive technology courses in order to repair the vehicles that the government owns. So I did that for a number of years, and then after I returned home from the military, I got a job at a new and used vehicle dealership. And I put in a number of years working that way as well. So to back it up just a little bit, so I'll tell you a little bit more about this NATEF and me. So you know I have some real world experience and some on-the-job training in order to be a professional service technician. So one of the things that I have that not every technician has, it's something that you have to strive for and work towards, starting at the high school level, and then, well, quite frankly, it never ends. But there's a lot of different certifications that a vehicle mechanic can have that is in automotive technology, or most people think of them as passenger vehicles, so light trucks, cars, SUVs, crossover SUVs, hybrids, and things of that nature. The first one at ASE is a certification examination. So ASE stands for Automotive Service Excellence. So the first test, or first examination or credential, is an A1, which is engine repair. Engine repair. So engine repair, what that basically describes is base engine repair, heavy gasket repair, valve cover oil leaks, maybe some minor maintenance, and heavy maintenance as well. So for instance, rebuilding an engine, pulling an engine out, taking the pistons out of the cylinders, maybe honing the bores, and replacing pistons or piston rings or what have you. The next test or certification examination or credential would be the A2, and the A2 is automatic transmissions and transaxle. So auto transaxle. So transmission is rear wheel drive, transaxle is front wheel drive. So that would be our next. So anything related to the automatic transaxle or automatic transmission, to include the differential and the drivetrain. Our next one is A3. We're going to stay with the theme, that's the manual trans. So stick shift. So some of our sports cars have stick shifts in them, some of our older trucks have stick shifts in them. So that's the manual transmission. So easier way to remember that. Automatic trans, it does it for us. Manual trans, we have to do that ourselves, right? We're the ones telling the vehicle what gear to be in. The next test or certification after that would be our A4, which is our steering and suspension. A4, steering and suspension. So it's steering and suspension, so anything from your hands out to the wheels, right? So everything that makes the vehicle steer or track down the road straight, a lot of different things. Shock absorbers when we're thinking of suspension, tires are included in suspension, alignments, a lot of different things. So that would be the 4th certification examination or credential. A5 would be the brakes. I always kind of laugh when I think about A5. To me, none of this stuff matters if you can't stop. So, in order to avoid confusion, I just think it should be at the top, but it is A5 is the number of the test. A6 would be electrical and electronics. Electrical. So when we think of that certification examination or that credential, we could think of anything that's powered by electricity in the vehicle. It's 2020 models come out here in about a month and a half. So maybe back in my father's era, there might have been 10 to 12 fuses that protected the electrical system on a vehicle. Now there are hundreds. There in some vehicles there can be up to 25 computers in a vehicle, and they're all talking to each other. In our 2020s, we'll find something like that, or even in this most recent decade, so from 10 till now. So that's a real important one. Steering, part of this. See, these all are going to end up relating, right? So we hit the brakes, the brake lights come on. So we can kind of think that that relates, steering, suspension, right? We have drive-by-wire now. So there's an electrical wire behind the steering wheel that runs to a rack and pinion steering. There's no mechanical linkage in between. It's just an electrical signal that tells the car which way to go, left or right, depending upon what the driver inputted. Manual trans and automatic trans, there's lots of different sensors, wheel speed sensors, reverse light switches, all kinds of different things. Engine repair, well, we're still in the base engine repair, so there's not a whole lot of electrical going on there, so that would be about the only one right now that would, even though there might be minor electrical signals in engine repair, we're going to see it more in these 2 through 5, and then the next 2 that I'm going to mention here. So our next 2 are going to be A7 and A8. So A7 is going to be heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Right, so as those basically are the creature comforts of the inside of the cabin of the vehicle. Keeps us comfortable in there. Newer vehicles, in the old days we had to roll down the windows. We were driving down the road if it was too hot. If it was too cold, we'd roll everything up tight to try to keep the warmth inside of the vehicle. We talk about how we're going to scavenge heat off the engine in the wintertime to keep the vehicle nice and warm so it's comfortable for us, and how to make those repairs if it's necessary. And A8 is engine performance. So there's a lot of electrical that's involved with these, engine performance. So there is an awful lot of electrical involved in these 2. So in my program, that's where we start off. We start off with electrical because it's tied into just about all of the certifications, right? So we touch on all of those. So if a person goes out and gets these 8 certifications, then ASE deems them a master master technician. So me as the instructor here at the Delta Schoolcraft ISD, I'm a master technician. I got all of these credentials when I was working in the field. But once you get them, you're not done. You have to maintain them. So every 5 years they expire. You have to meet the field experience or on-the-job type of experience as you go in order to maintain that. So we do that. So students that go through the automotive program at our school get a taste of all 8 of those in their first year of school. When they graduate, or when I say graduate, I mean when they finish their 1-year program, because they can take the program as an 11th grader or a 12th grader, they can go and take the ASE certification for G1. That one's different, right? So that's maintenance and light repair. Maintenance and light repair. So after 1 year at the ISD, we can go out, we can take that certification examination. You can leave after your 11th grade year, get a summer job at a shop, and go right to work and start getting paid. So what does that mean? That means that you might make a little bit more money than you would have had you not had that certification. If they return, if the student returns a second year, we just dove a little bit further into depth in all 8 of these areas and prepare the student to be able to take those examinations and go to work. So we do that in the classroom, and we also do that in the shop. So in the classroom, that's the time where we have our students are in smaller groups, and they work together and they collaborate, and they try to come up with theories, exercise these thoughts, and see if they can make things work. And they work together as a group on vehicles. So we try to group the students accordingly to make sure that all of our students have an equal opportunity to make sure that they have exposure to these principles and these ideas in order to repair vehicles or repair their own car or whatever the case may be.